a traffic policeman who became famous in Barnsley after decades of directing traffic through the town.
Bill Harbour, who has died aged 86, will be remembered fondly by many. He was known for his distinctive handlebar moustache and even featured in a song about a useless roundabout. Phil Bob bears more.
He was a familiar sight on the streets of Barnsley in an era when policemen, rather than lights, controlled the traffic. PC Harbour's handlebar moustache and friendly nature earned him widespread respect among local people.
I'd like to get me hands upon that fat. That's different roundabout.
Local entertainer and musician Dave Cherry remembered Bill directing traffic from his boyhood and included him in a song about Barnsley's infamous Stairfoot roundabout.
Bobby Bill at New Street, the tunes he'd save. If he saw that Stairfoot, he'd turn in his grave.
But Bill, being very much alive, spotted Dave in a local pub one evening.
This military figure come to me. He says, "Hello, that Dave Cherry?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Well, I'm Bill Harbour and I'm not dead." So that worked that way.
The song and film raised almost £25,000 for a local hospice, helped by a popular policeman who will be long remembered by those who knew him.
What a super...
In the public hall at Barnsley, the children went to view the animated pictures as children love to do. 500 little children, and maybe many more, with hearts brimful of pleasure, they left their father's door. Give each a penny, the Sunday best they wore, and some were 6, and some were 5, and some were only 4. Arriving at the hall, they found the gallery full, and then those up above the stairs began to push or pull. Go back, a small voice said. They turned back with a rush, and 16 little children were killed amid the crush.
Now, in Greek mythology, Atlas was the god that held up the sky. Did you know that?
Of course.
Well, in Yorkshire, he was used to adorn the old Barnsley Alhambra Theatre.
And after the theatre was demolished in 1982, the Titan was thought lost forever. Until, that is, one intrepid historian decided to unearth his whereabouts. Shirley Henry takes up the story.
The iconic Alhambra Theatre in Barnsley. One of its focal points was this statue of the Greek Titan Atlas. When the theatre was demolished in 1982, it was thought the Atlas was lost too. But hidden in a shed in Barnsley, a passionate local historian embarked on a voyage of discovery.
Amazing, amazing. We all used to stand under this thing, you know, queuing for the Saturday matinee when we were all kids. You know, and all the courting couples used to look up at you. Everybody was wondering hardly, what a lovely, this big feature, this big 9-ton Titan Greek god. What's happened to it?
Up until 1982, this is where Barnsley's Alhambra Theatre stood. It's now been replaced by the town's main shopping centre, as many locals thought the Greek statue had been lost forever. Well, that's until now. It's taken nearly 40 years, but last week, Dave tracked it down to a suburban garden in Wakefield. It had been saved from demolition by a businessman.
I called on the side and I said, "What are you going to do with the figure?" And they said, "We're going to break it up." And I said, "Oh, blimey, don't do that." I said, "It's magnificent."
We built a piece for him, then I painted his face, we built his nose up, put in 2 eyes in, because I put marbles in for his eyes, because I like him to be able to see.
Sadly, Atlas was damaged in their garden. Its head is all that remains. It's hoped one day the sculpture will take pride of place back in Barnsley town centre. Shirley Henry, BBC Look North, Barnsley.
Handsome chap.
Yeah, fine looking specimen.
Right, well, this is the Woodhead Tunnel this year. 3 tunnels. One here, 1838. and that was the most modern 1954. Now then, the tunnel is 3 miles, 30 yards long. The station Woodhead is roughly there. This is the western portal of the Woodhead Tunnel.
So this is my old town of Barnsley, and this is the Broadway Junction, and this is the Penny Pie Park, which sadly won't be here much longer. We're trying to find a disaster area. A Second World War bomber crashed somewhere here, Cresswell Street. We're just trying to find it. In January 1942, it was a Whitley bomber, and somehow or another, it were all hushed up for the duration of the war. But anyhow, let's try and find this Cresswell Street.
Just in the bombs, it got lower and lower and lower. They decided they tried to restart the engine, and that caught fire.
Right.
It got lower and lower, and it came down Broadway. 3 bailed out on Broadway.
We've come to see this lovely lady, Jean Naylor. Jean, can you tell us what you remember about that morning, that day when this bomber crashed?
Yes. I was 10 years old. I lived at the bottom house on Stocks Lane.
Stocks Lane?
Stocks Lane. Just down the road there.
Yeah.
And I heard that there was a plane that crashed. And I thought it was German. So I thought I'll get up and get a bit. So I ran all the way up from bottom of Stocks Lane to the wreck. And when I got to the wreck, they wouldn't let me get anywhere near it because the police had surrounded it.
Right.
And it was British.
Yeah.
I found out later. And so they wouldn't let anybody near. And the sad thing was that it was 2 young men who died, 19 and 20, am I right?
22-year-old woman.
Yes. And one was Australian and one was Canadian. Canadian. And it was so sad.
Well, this is the M1 north towards Barnsley. We're just coming up to what is a huge distribution centre on the site of the Rocking Colliery site. Dave, tell us about this.
Right, on the right-hand side, you're coming up to it, it's a great big structure, Hermes Distribution Centre. That's quite correct, it's built on old mining land at Rockingham. This is the turn off to Manchester, we pass it on the left, but the actual site is over these trees here. Now, as you can see on the skyline there, that's 2,200 houses here. This is like Black's Common, if you like.
Yeah.
But the houses are going to be on this hill here.
Yeah, that's probably the bond against the noise, isn't it?
Yeah. The roadworks here, they're building a roundabout.
So the way to the housing complex.
That must have not been planned originally, this roundabout here.
The train had previously traversed the Wath to Penistone route, normally freight only, and is seen near Silkstone.
Right, so we had that trees here, that were roughly signal box, and line went through there, through that bit there. Yeah. So that bloke shutting actual railway crossing gates, he starts there, shuts through there, and train comes this way.
This is Barnsley's history, showcased for the very first time, collected by the town's own people. Every piece, paper and picture tells a story.
Oh, it's marvellous. When you see it for the first time, it brings it to life.
Dave has been copying old cine films onto DVDs for people to watch in the museum. From the coronation of George VI to market scenes 50 years ago, Barnsley's history has come alive.
You know, you get people saying, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that shot, that, it's marvellous. It just brings it, better than photos, you know, it's actual living history, living proof.
The Barnsley dialect is one of 13 dialects that have changed little since medieval times. It is derived from Middle English with no French words or adjectives. The boundary of the dialect is a 5-mile radius. If you can picture a pinprick in Town Hall, 5-mile round. High Green in south, West Melton over to the east, over to Darton in the west, and Ryle in the north. On the boundaries, there are a few fields. A dramatic change, what I found out, a place at West Melton, Romarsh and High Green. How we said car park, Mars Bar, it becomes car park, Mars Bar. One side of the street, it's in this, but it's unbelievable, this, you know. But there's certain words that have disappeared. For instance, my dad, it said, I'm going to put Lareham on, Lareham, the alarm clock, backwards, you know. Words like Brusson, possibly you've heard that word, Brusson. It's somebody who's bossy or belligerent, that's how he said it. But it's from the French word brusque, adjective brusque, or sharp. So somebody who's sharp or belligerent, that's where that comes from. Things like the word ginnel, you've all heard that word, ginnel, but you ask kids nowadays, it's gone. Is what, Don? A few ginnels. In Sheffield, in Sheffield, Don, they call it ginnel. I don't know why. It's like a snicket. Now, a snicket, we know, is uncovered, a ginnel is covered, you know. As I say, if you want to ask me any questions on this lot, please. Right. It's changed very little since the Middle Ages. In the 14th century, this is fascinating, Geoffrey Chaucer, he's the bloke who wrote Canterbury Tales. He wrote The Wife of Bath. And when you read it in Old English, you'll be able to understand it. I mean, such as this. Husbands at church door I'll say it again. Husbands at church door, I have had 5. So she's been married 5 times this last bit, you know. And then it's a worthy lass, I've got to get this right, a worthy lass, a Bath City or when, I swear, and she'd been with a send. Now, it's just like how we speak, isn't it? Oh, what you with a send, you know. So, what's interesting is the word, this is a lovely word, onomatopoeia. That's the way the speech comes out. It's like a bee buzzing, you know, and it's very remarkable. Right, on we go. It's different, our dialect is different to the rest of Yorkshire. And there's a lot of myths prevail. Black Barnsley, you've all heard this phrase, Black Barnsley. Well, it's not what you think, it's not what like the southern gentry think of as Black Barnsley, it's not. Daniel Defoe, that's the chap who wrote Robinson Crusoe, he first used the term in 1724. So that was 1724, or way before Peace and that. But what he meant, Black Barnsley, he meant the black heather on the hills at Penistone on the west here. So it's not what you think. Another interesting fact, you've all heard the song Ilklimoor Bar Tat. Now you know what that means, bar tat, without the hat. Like a woman goes to a fish shop and asks for a fish bar batter. Now it's only in Barnsley that we speak like that. Ilkley, they don't talk like that, it's just us. Fish bar batter. There we go. I'm not used to talking. I mean, when else would you heard this phrase? I heard a last top of the bottom. Top of the, have you heard how it's daft in your life, you know? And it's not just this fellow here done it, Royston. Royston is over there, as you know, and it's a lot different. I'll tell you the story. 1892, a village come from Staffordshire to the Moncton piece, and certain words, like a ball busting, they say Boston, you know, it's a lot of, I used to work there at Royston Drift, but I've just read a lovely account, the first balloon over Barnsley, in a book called The History of Silkstone. In 1855, it crashed coming from Leeds. It was to celebrate the fall of Sebastopol in 1855 during the Crimean War, and it landed near Oil and Swain. And the author heard this bloke, he calls him William Garnett, Bill Garnett, I mean that's a very common name, innit? Bill Garrett. But it says, let me just read it, as it's 1855. And this is what he said. Vicar heard him. That knows, that bloke get top weight on holding it down. That was in 1855. That knows, that bloke get top weight on holding it. Just like somebody around here saying today. It's, of course, our parents, we were born in 40s, 50s, or whatever, and our dads, mothers and fathers, they never moved out of the community. So the dialect stuck with them. But today there's been a rapid like demographic movement of people. I mean, they come from all over, you know. So, in fact, I'll just finish. We went to Lanzarote, and this posh woman, she says, "Oh, she got this bottle of Bell's whiskey on the table. Oh, Sandra," she says, "do you drink it neat in Barnsley?" I says, "Drink it neat?" I says, "She sucks it in morning and all." Thanks a lot. Get me hands upon the bar, although good to step round about. I'm always stuck at leaves and red and green and mustard views. There's a bustling down the middle that's never ever used. Would someone go and sort that plonker out? That dreamt up, that step round about. I once set off to see my Uncle Ronnie. He lives on the outskirts of Donny. So I set off down through the town. He was suffering from the flu. I got down to the Ashdale where I joined the great queue. At last I got to my Uncle Ronnie's. That's him, just this side of Donny. He poured his troubles out. I told him I was sorry, and I laid them round about the road. Like to get me hands upon the path that went up the step round about. I'm always stuck at leaves of red, then green and comes a fuse. That bustling's full of tangle and weed, it's never chuffing you. With someone going sort that plonker out, that went up the step round about. What was this? Imagine that. So I got a phone call from my sister Cat. Emergency on the other side of what? So I crawled to the roundabout. The year ghastly blue, it's like the wacky races, they sail at the MQ. At last I got to our castle, what a laugh. Ho, 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 it seems she got stuck in the back. It took me and 3 neighbours to pull poor woman out. She could have put it round her, all through that roundabout. So I had to get me hands upon the bar. That window, that step round about. I'm always stuck at leaves of red and green and just a fuse. There's a bustling down the middle, it still ain't bloody used. When someone go and sort that plonker out, that window, that step round about. I'll be now. Dreamt up, step round about. That cocked up, that step round about. Traffic law's better when the lights are broken. Dreamt up, step round about. step, but it is raining. Knock up, step up roundabout. Great lane. An opposite great lane to the airport. What about it? What's he doing? Get his shade on that boy, I can't speak. The woman here doing the knitting and all. Why did we pan and let him go to 40? I was going to come down that boat anywhere. That step up roundabout, ring my yours truly. Thank you. Whoa.